Good evening, all. Okay, are you able to see my screen? You're able to see my screen, right? So, yesterday we were talking about black box testing types. So, black box testing is nothing but once developers come up with code for a specific module according to the release plan, they will send it to deployment team for deploying the application. So once deployments went through successfully, you will get an email like installation was successful, carry on your testing activities. Then you'll start up with your testing activities. So in that application, so internally what is the code or what is the program, what is the structure, what is the logic they come up with, absolutely you don't want. Externally, whether it's working according to customer requirements or not, that is what you will be validating. That is nothing but your black box testing. Under black box testing, who will involve is testers, we. Okay, so that's why you have to go for testing industry. Means you don't want to go for you don't want to learn or know exactly your programmatic skills. Again, under black box testing, there are subtypes available, that is nothing but usability testing, functionality testing, performance testing, security testing. Usability testing is the primary level testing you'll be performing as soon as you get application. So during there, what you will be validating is whether your application is providing user-friendly interface or not. So that is nothing but UI testing. Again, manual support testing, they were divided. So UI testing again divided into three subtypes. Easy to use is nothing but Microsoft Secure. So look and feel is nothing but similarity across all the applications. Then uh, and quick interface. So whether your application come up with quick navigation or not. So then manual support testing is nothing but what is the application you are working, that application providing help document or not. So that is what will be validating. Then black functional testing. So functional testing again divided into 10 subtypes. Functionality testing, error handling. Functionality testing is nothing but positive testing, what client is expecting. Error handling is nothing but negative testing. So in your application at expected places, expected error messages your application is throwing or not. That is very important portion you will be performing in your testing. So even if you go for interview, very good interview question, what is the negative testing performed for your application? So please be aware of what. Then input domain testing. So again for techniques we will come up with boundary value analysis, equivalence class partition, partition table, and error guessing. Then you will come up with software compatibility, that is nothing but compatibility testing. Configuration testing is nothing but hardware compatibility, whether your application is providing more features or not. So that is nothing but sanitation testing, extra features whether your application is providing or not. That is nothing but sanitation testing. Then you will come up with recovery testing. Any application should have auto recovery feature, so that is nothing but recovery testing. Inter systems testing. Gmail and Yahoo Mail both are different companies, but they have to grow their business. Means both of those systems should intertouch each other. So that is nothing but inter systems testing, installation testing, and another thing you will come up with uh, parallel testing. So parallel testing is nothing but competition testing. This is what yesterday we were discussing. So then we go for uh, normally under white box testing you will come up with two more types of testing, that is nothing but performance testing and security testing. But before going there, what we do is we'll try discussing types of applications. Okay, so normally in your IT industry there are four types of applications you will come up with. Those are nothing but one tier, two tier, three tier, and n tier. These are the four types of applications you will come up with. Okay, one tier, two tier, three tier, and n tier. So here tier is nothing but layer. Okay, here tier is nothing but layer. So one tier means one layer, those applications will be using. Two tier means two layers. Three tier means three layers. N tier means n layers. So we go one by one. So calculator, if you take calculator, you will be able to see only front end. So that is nothing but like user interface. That is nothing but user interface. So which all are the applications you will be able to access in your computer without connecting internet, like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, okay, and calculator. These are the paint. These are the applications you will consider it as like standalone applications. Okay, so means like only front end user interface these applications will be containing. So that's why these applications you are considering it as like one tier applications. Okay, that is fine. In order to come up with any of the application, so what you have to do, you should use some programming language, right? Without using programming language you cannot come up with any of the application user interface. So you should use some programming language. So that is nothing but like either C or C++ or Java or Visual C++ or VB, some programming language. So that is nothing but like one tier applications. Then two-tier applications. As I told, two-tier is nothing but two layers. So Gmail is not the good example at this point of time, but I'm just taking for understanding. So in Gmail, while registering, what you will be doing? You'll click on, if you are new user for Gmail, you'll click on new user registration. Then you'll be filling up first name, last name, middle name, age, date of birth, something like that, and click on submit button. As soon as you click on submit button, where those details get stored in backend database. Any of the application it is, that application for storing this kind of data, they will use database like SQL, Sybase, Oracle, DB2, like that. Some database they should use. Access also one database, Excel also one database. So like that, for storing data especially, they'll be using some database. So that is nothing but like backend. Okay, so some applications you are running, some company means in your company premises you will be running those applications. So those are nothing but like two-tier applications. Within your office premises, which are the applications you will be able to access, those applications you will be treating it as like two-tier applications. Okay, all intranet. So two-tier applications also you can consider it as like client server applications. So client requests the data, server is nothing but database, serves that requested data to the client. That is nothing but like client server applications. Okay, so in between those two layers you will come up with one more layer, that is nothing but like web server. So in order to access any of your web-based application, in between front end and back end, another server you will come up with middle layer, middle tier, that is nothing but like web server. Okay, so web servers, what is the purpose is like these servers serves data, and see templates and data who will service like your web server. Data means, see, username, password, this data will get stored into your database. But web server, which kind of data? In our Google homepage, about Google, they will be discussing some data, right? And that page where it will store, who will serve? This web server will serve. Okay, so those pages of the data web server will serve. Okay, so again web servers are of two types: application server and web server. Web server is nothing but like a computer or program running in that computer. Okay, so that is responsible for accepting HTTP request from client and serving back HTTP requests. What this web server is nothing but like a computer or a program in running in that computer. What it does is like, what do you mean by HTTP? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Whenever you give www.gmail.com, what it done? HTTP it will take. What is that mean? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So each and everything, as soon as you click enter, it will connect to database server, it will connect to web server, and some request it will send it out to web server. Web server requests those receives those requests and send back responses to those requests. That is what who will take care is like web server. Okay, so Apache and IIS. So these are the examples for like your web server. So application server exposes business logic to client applications, okay, for displaying data in your front end. Okay, Gmail server have storing data of millions of people's emails. But whenever you enter your username and password in your mailbox, inbox, only your mails get displayed. It doesn't display all others your friends or others emails, right? Why? Who will handle that one? Your application server. Okay, so it will filter which data have to serve, have to display. Okay, which data is applicable for you to display. That is what your application server will take care. Okay, so this is nothing but like your application layer. So as a tester, you don't want to go for in detail. So this is what if you are aware of, that is more than enough. Okay, but Gmail, best example if we take across globe, so many millions of people or billions of people accessing. Tomorrow, some problem occurred in New Jersey. They have to track exactly what is the issue and rectify means they are maintaining one server, let us assume. So it's very difficult, right? So instead of that one, what they can do is like for India one server, for China one server, for US one server. If they're keeping like that, so tomorrow some problem occurred in New Jersey. They go to US server and track the issue and rectify very easily, right? Again, whole US if you maintain one server is a little bit hard. So how what you can do is like for major cities one server, for New York one server, for New Jersey one server, for Tampa one server, like that. Major cities, that means like one major server you are dividing into sub servers. So then tomorrow some problem occurred in Florida. So you go Florida server, you can rectify very easily. So that is nothing but like n layers, n tier. Okay. So instead of keeping one server, they will divide it into multiple servers. So that is nothing but like n tier applications. Okay. So these web-based three tier and n tier applications, you will consider it like web-based applications. All of your web-based applications, you will consider it like entire applications. So very detailed you will go for means there are four types of applications. Those are nothing but like one tier, two tier, three tier, and entire. In brief, if you describe, then two types of applications you will come up with. Those are nothing but like client server applications and web-based applications. Okay. So however you feel comfortable, you can remember. Okay. So these are the two types of applications you'll come up with very high level. Then we go for like performance testing. Excellent. If you take like a Gmail across globe, multiple people will be accessing at a time. So whenever multiple people are accessing, how the performance of that application, that is what you have to validate. So how you will validate is like with the help of performance testing. So how you can define is executing the program under customer sorry, under predetermined levels of resources to estimate performance is nothing but performance testing. Okay, so executing the application under predetermined levels of resources. Predetermined levels of resources means there is some server, right? Some computer. What is the configuration of that computer? That means like what is the hard disk they are using? What is the processor? What is the RAM? What is the memory? What is the RAM they are using? What is the motherboard they are using? Okay, so that is nothing but like predetermined levels of resources. So that is nothing but performance testing. So executing the application under predetermined levels of resources to estimate performance is nothing but performance testing. Performance testing again divided into two subtypes, that is nothing but load testing and stress testing. The idea is very simple here. Your customer expected load is 10,000 users. If your application is working fine for 10,000 users, okay, so whatever the application you are working like some xxx application, for that application your customer expected load is 10,000 users. So you'll test that application by passing 10,000 users. So if it works fine, that is nothing but like load testing. How you can define it as like executing the application under predetermined levels of resources and customer expected load is nothing but load testing. Okay, executing the application under predetermined levels of resources and customer expected load, that is nothing but like load testing. But your customer expected load is 10,000 users. Really, only 10,000 people will be accessing that application. How do you make sure? Let us suppose one best example and real-time scenario like greetings applications. That greetings applications during normal season, less number of people try accessing. But during festival season like December or January, across globe, all festivals you will come across. During that time, almost all people try accessing, right? That kind of situation, even client himself may not expect how many more number of users going to access. At that time, what you will be doing is like your customer expect already 10,000 users, let us assume. You'll be keep incrementing extra stress. Like 100 users you port, 100 users extra stress you will put. So how your application is behaving? 200, 300, 400, 500. So let us suppose your application is breaking at 500 extra stress. Customer expected already 10,000 users, but 500 extra stress you are putting, then your application is getting break. That means your customer current configured server will handle 10,500 users. So if his application needs to be accessed more number of people means he have to increase his server configuration. That is nothing but like your stress testing. How much extra stress your application can handle. So executing the application under predetermined levels of resources under which extra stress your application can sustain. Okay, so that is nothing but like your stress testing. The idea is very simple. Your application is customer expected load is 10,000 users. Your application is working fine for 10,000 users. That is nothing but load testing. But your application may not expect always those many users. So if it gets increases stress, how your application behave and what is the peak load? The main purpose of stress testing is like what is the peak load your application can handle. That is what you have to find it out. That is nothing but stress testing. Then excuse me, you have taken internet. So 1 Mbps plan or 2 Mbps plan or 10 Mbps plan. Whether you are getting the speed or not, how you will make sure some speed tests are there. Exactly, that is what you have to make sure. That is nothing but volume testing. You will be attaching some attachment to your Gmail, right? So what is the maximum size you can attach? 25 MB. So that is what you are validating. So that is nothing but volume testing. So this is nothing but like volume testing. Okay, so under performance testing, this is additional one you can validate, but it's not important. But very high level, you'll come up with two types of testing. That is nothing but load testing and stress testing. If you go for interview, this is a very good interview question. You may come across like a difference between performance testing, load testing, and stress testing. Performance testing is like very primary level. Under performance testing, load testing, and stress testing, you'll come up with load testing is this, stress testing is that. Like that, you explain. It's very simple. This is nothing but like performance testing. Then most of the web-based applications these days, if you go for every application, you'll come up with logging. And another thing is like most of the banking transactions these days you are performing over internet. So if that is not safe, then how you go for? So that is what you will be validating during security testing. So whatever the application you are working in your internet, whether web-based applications, those web-based applications provide security or not, that is what you will be validating. That is nothing but like security testing. How many ways you can validate is like authentication, access control, encryption and decryption, proxy, firewalls. These are the different ways you can test. And normally uh, in our real-time application, what you will be validating is like uh, administrator and end user, like the two kinds of privilege. Administrator will be having all the privileges, whether administrator having all these privileges or not, that is what you will be validating. And end user having only view privileges, whether they have view privileges or not, that is what you will be validating. You may not get a chance to go for like access control is nothing but privileges you are validating. So encryption and decryption are proxy or firewalls. Encryption and decryption, when you go for is like if you are working for banking applications, then only you'll get a chance to go for like encryption and decryption. And if you are working in network computers, internet related systems, then only you'll get a chance to go for like proxy or firewalls. Okay, okay, we go one by one. Authentication, you are the first time user for Gmail. What you have to do? You have to register first. Once you register, you will get username and password. With the help of username and password, you will be able to access that application, right? So that is nothing but like authentication. Okay, you have to enter into the organization. First day you join into the company, they will provide you like access card and ID card. Okay, so that means like you're authorized to enter into the organization. So that is nothing but like authorization. You are authorized. Okay, but which floor, which building, and which bay you are authorized? Your project area only you will be eligible to access, but you are not eligible to enter into other areas of like finance department bay, or security department bay, or some other projects bay area. You are not authorized, or other buildings or other floors you are not authorized, right? So that is nothing but like access control. They will restrict your access. So that's what how they do is like access control. Another example, if you go for, you have registered your resume in Naukri job portal. So what you will do, you can update your resume, you can find out jobs, and you can apply your resume. Once you get job, you can remove your resume, but you cannot see others resumes, and you cannot delete others resumes. You cannot even view others resumes. Who will do? Administrator. So that is what how you can validate with the help of access control. Okay, another best example like password. Whenever you type your password, how it will display? right? So some stars. Why? That is what for security reasons is displaying stars and masking. Exactly like that, they're providing you some banking account, credit card number, or debit card number. How they provide? They will encrypt so many levels and provide you. Encrypt and 2 3 levels they will encrypt, and some numbers, some flow they may decrypt even some levels 2 3 times. Okay, so this is where if you get a chance to go for like working the banking applications, there you will validate this encryption and decryption. Some algorithms will try to follow. You don't want to worry, they will provide you those algorithms. Okay, so accordingly you will test. That is nothing but like encryption and decryption. Okay, another example, once you enter into the organization, within your organization premises, you will be able to access only company related URLs, your work authorized URLs. Other URL you cannot access. Now, olden days, if you go for Accenture or something like that, you'll be able to access any of the applications, any of the you can browse whatever you feel comfortable. But nowadays they were restricted. Wipro, Indian companies, if you go for Wipro something like that, you have to browse your personal thing means they will provide some computers in lab or somewhere common computers. There you go and you can access. Even Google also they doesn't provide you access in Wipro. Exactly like the Tech Mahindra, if you take only 30 days, 30 minutes per day, you can browse. If you try browsing more than 30 minutes, it will automatically block. How all this kind of stuff they'll be handling with the help of proxy and firewalls. Okay, so they'll give you some proxy server. You'll set in internet LAN settings, you go and there you will set, then after a firewall it will apply. So that is what will be validating. But this is what really when you will get a chance is like for network LAN and network related systems you're testing means you may get a chance to go for validating this kind of test. Otherwise, authentication and access control for any of the application you will be validating. Okay, so this is nothing but like your security testing. This is nothing but your black box testing. So if you go for black box testing, functionality testing, performance testing, security testing, and usability testing, you will come across. In middle, we will discuss types of applications. So then at the end of black box testing, we'll come up with one important scenario. So that is nothing but like difference between client server and web-based applications. Very good interview question. So how differently you will test web-based applications when compared to client server applications? The idea is very simple. If it is client server application, first you go for like usability testing. Once your application gets stable, then you go for functionality testing. Okay, so as soon as you get application, you go for usability testing, then you go for functionality testing. But if it is web-based application, first you go for like security testing, then the primary portion, primary priority is like security testing, then usability testing, then functionality testing. You have to go for performance testing means at least 6 releases or 10 releases or 5 releases should happen. Then only that means like your application get stable. Then only you go for performance testing. Okay, so that's how you will test or differentiate between like client server application and web-based applications. It's very simple and very important into question. Okay, so this is nothing but like your black box testing. Any questions, anybody? uh no questions means thanks for your time.